Able TV, where we inspire and inform you endlessly, with knowledge to guide, uplift and grow. Thank you for joining, it's a journey, let's go. To all the new subscribers, welcome aboard. We're so glad you're here, there's so much in store. Returning friends, thank you once again. Together we'll learn and share the game. From wisdom to insight, each video's a gift, helping you rise, giving your spirit a lift. So hit that subscribe, stay tuned to see all the great things on Dr. Bummy Able TV. To all the new subscribers, welcome aboard. We're so glad you're here, there's so much in store. Returning friends, thank you once again. Together we'll learn and share the game. To all the new subscribers, welcome.
Okay, welcome, and welcome again. Good to see you here waiting for what we have for you today. So today we have for you a menopause talk, like you can see on the screen, understanding perimenopause, what to expect and when to expect it. So if there's anyone who is supposed to be here online to listen and are not here, please remind them this is a time to come together and let's see what we have for you on menopause. So welcome everyone. Today it's a groundbreaking episode or series, I'll say, we have for you. Is the Truth About Menopause, what they don't tell you. So we're here with so many experts who are going to be dishing out the different sides of the coin to you. And another question somebody was asking me is, why are they all queens? I said, oh, yes, they are all queens. I call my guests queens because they embody strength, resilience, and grace, because they will navigate the transformative journey of menopause for us. By honoring them as queens, I emphasize their worth, wisdom, and the power they hold, reminding them and others that this stage of life is a time for empowerment and not diminishment. So I call my guest queens. Thank you for joining in. Thank you for coming here to listen. And I will not waste our time any further. I will invite on the screen one after the other our guests. So the first one is Queen Ostina. She is Queen Ostina Backen and Durin. You can see the name on the screen. She's a nice support worker at Coventry City Council, and she's going to be introducing herself later. So hold on there. You're welcome on stage.
Thank you.
Next one I have for you, Queen Yinka. She is a menopause practitioner, clinical nutritionist, fitness and lifestyle coach of 17 years of natural juicing therapies. So she's going to introduce herself properly to you. But thank you all for coming on the show.
Thank you.
Thank you. So may I start with Queen Ostina? Please, can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi everyone. My name is Ostina, and I work for Coventry City Council over the past 10 years now, and I recently graduated at Warwick University. I studied social studies, and my free time I like to cook, read books, and do some research in topic like menopause, well-being, and other interesting topic, that is affecting women, around the globe. And I also like to go on scuba diving and skydiving and all these extreme sports because it helps me. So yeah, I think that's all for now. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you very much. Thank you. Wow, that's an adventurous thing you've got going on there. Thank you. So, Queen Yinka, over to you.
Good evening, everyone. And yes, it's a pleasure to be here. What more can I say? I think you've pretty much given, well, maybe those were just the titles. My free time, I like adventure, but not as adventurous as maybe I might take that up at some point. But yes, I like to travel. I read. I like reading, and I like sleeping. So
Wow.
yes.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you. There's one more guest we're expecting. Kafilat, Queen Kafilat is not here. She's finding it hard to join in. But we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. Um, so thank you very much, Okoro Cecilia. Good. You said she says good evening, all. Good evening. Good evening. Welcome. All right, we'll go straight right into it. The first question is to Queen Austina. Can you tell us, please, what is perimenopause and how is it different from menopause?
Perimenopause is when you are having like it's when the estrogen level is low, and it's different from menopause because at that time, you know, it can start early or later. It depends on it depends on the age. Sometimes it can start as early as 30. People in their 30 will you know experience premenopause, and some of the symptoms you will be experiencing is hot flush, irregular period, and so many other things. But it's different from menopause because menopause is when the period stop. Menopause is when the period stop, but premenopause is when it's a transition into menopause. So
Mm,
it's the time you will produce less hormones, and the period will be up. If the period, sometimes you will have 2 months without a period. Sometimes you will have period for maybe 3 days. So the period is very, as we said, irregular. And
mm,
it's very in this transition, it can be very, very difficult for women
mm,
because it can be very uncomfortable. It can also disrupt your lifestyle,
mm,
and then, but it's normal for women to go through this kind of symptom because at the end of the day, all women go through this, all women, but it's a transition. Yeah.
okay.
So
Yeah, you've answered part of the next question, which is at what age do most women start experiencing perimenopause and how long does it typically last for?
I think it depends on different women. Some women start, like I said earlier on, some women start at the age of 30s, but some start at the age of 40s, and it's a transitional event
Mm,
until it ends. But like I said, sometimes you will go 6 months without a period, and sometimes you will go 2 months without it. When you start seeing that, you know you are in premenopause. But I always advise women that go and see your doctor, go and see your physician, talk to them so that at least they can give advice on what to do. And know, because some women are very, scared, that some women don't even know if they are going through that change. They don't even know. I remember for me, when I was I'm in my 40s now, I started having some funny feeling, very funny feel. It's a shock to me.
mm,
All of a sudden I start, like, I was like, what is hot flush? I can't even explain it. So I have to go and see my doctor my doctor, and he said to me, oh, I'm going to put you on HRT. I said, no, I don't want any HRT. I said, leave it with me, I will sort myself out.
mm,
But at the moment, I'm okay because I finally sort myself out.
mm.
But it's a transition for so many women. It can end up with depression and then anxiety, so many things. But it starts early at the age of 30s. Yeah.
Yeah, true. Thank you very much. Thank you for saying that. Is there any other thing you want to add, Queen Yinka, to that before I ask the next question?
Is that as to the second question, as when the
Yeah, first and second question. Yes. What is Mary menopause? How different is it from menopause, and what age do women start, and how long does it take? Those questions.
okay. So with menopause, most of the time we refer to menopause, perimenopause, as menopause. But like my sister said, I always say is you've had 12 consecutive months with no periods, and on the first day of the 13th month, that's it, menopause birthday, that's it. And after that is postmenopause until the end of life. So
Mm,
in a way, we could sort of divide it into three. So there's a perimenopause, there's a menopause, and postmenopause. All right. So that's the three in quote stages and the differences between the two. The second question is, what age do women start to? Yeah, like she said before, we have women going into the menopause as early as their 30s. So that's really premature menopause. We have women going as early as 40. That's another early menopause is called. So typically, normal, should I say, is we start experiencing those symptoms mid-40s, and most women get to menopause and start postmenopause at the age of 51. All right.
Okay.
So that's the in quote the norm. But again, we're
Okay.
all different. Some may have it early, and it also follows genetics plays a role in that as well as lifestyle and other things.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Queen Austina, next to you. I'm actually waiting for Queen Kafila. She's not here yet, but we'll see. Another question is, what are some of the earliest signs? I know you mentioned a few, but what are
Yeah.
some of those earliest signs of perimenopause that women should be aware of? Because some people are actually facing menopausal, at the perimenopausal stage now. They're wondering what's happening. They can't even, speak to their doctors about it because they can't even explain it, what's happening to them. Some, like I heard a lady that was telling me, so she actually thought she was going through dementia. She had
Yeah.
to go to her GP. So many signs, so many things. So please tell us.
Yeah. Because of the estrogen level begin to decline, our body adjusts to changes in him. It's a process. Our body begin to adjust. The hormones in our body begin to adjust, and our body begin to react to different hormones. And also, it different for some people. Like I said, it will be different for me, and it will be different for other people. Everybody have, we are all individual. So some people don't even notice any physical change in their body. Some people, the first sign is a skip period, and why is sorry wise other people have symptoms like hot flush and mood swings, and it varies. Like I said, it varies in different people, and other people experience, when women are talking about all these different experiences they get. One of the main experience people normally talk about is the irregular period and the skip period. And then the other one is like sometimes the period will be heavier or lighter. Some women will have heavy period, really heavy period, whereby they have to use sanity pad, they have to change every 2 hours. Whilst others have they will have a very light period. And then the other one is um mood swing changes. So small thing people just be, you know like I said, vexation. I should use that word. They will get angry so easily. They will snap at any small given thing. And then the other one is night sweat. Some women suffer a lot from night sweat. They have to open the windows. If the windows are not opening, they can't sleep. You know, low sex, low libido, no sex, no pleasure, nothing. Example, if your husband want to tell, oh no, I'm not in the mood. You can go for weeks or months without anything. And then vaginal dryness, that's another one, which can cause discomfort during sex for some women, you know. And then the other one is urinary urgency. You need to go to the toilet. You need to pee frequently. And then the other one is sleep pattern, insomnia. Some people don't sleep at night. They find it very, very difficult to sleep. And because of all the symptoms, all this condition, like I said, is different from one woman to another. Every woman is different. So the best advice I'll give to people is to go and talk to your physician, go and talk to your doctor, and explain to them, this is how I'm feeling. Some even get like a migraine. The early sign, like if you're in your mid-30s, I remember I used to suffer from lots of migraine. I was like, where is this coming from? migraine, all those things. They're all symptom of premenopause. So go and see your physician, go and talk to your physician, and then you can take it from there. Thank you.
Yes, true, true. Thank you. Is there anything else you want to add to it before I go on to the next question? I know you've said so much about, all of those symptoms. Oh, sorry, before that one. Those early signs that
Mm,
women, often face. Some are going through it, but they don't know, like I said, they don't know it is a thing. They just, what is this? What is this? And they, some people go for deliverance. Like, it's not,
It's true,
it's true.
we're laughing about it. Yes, but some
It's
people
true.
think it's vintage. Yeah, I know a story like that. Yeah. So fatigue is another one that women tend to battle with during
Yeah.
perimenopause. I mean,
Hmm.
I had that, and it was quite embarrassing because for a fitness coach and a nutritionist, I was like, oh, I sleep for so many hours over the night, and then I wake up the next day, I'm so tired, and I always said, are you tired? No, I'm not. Are you tired? No, I didn't understand it, but yes. So yes, that's another common one, fatigue.
Yeah.
mm, mm. Okay, great. Thank you very much. And for viewers watching, thank you very much for joining in. Thank you for listening. Thank you for doing the needful at this very point in time. Please share and let people be aware of what we are talking about. We're talking about menopause. What do you expect from menopause or perimenopause, and when does it start? So the next question actually is supposed to be for Queen Kafila. She is not here. I'm asking her for some reason she can't get online. But if you're there, if you're on YouTube, please type your answer. How do hormonal changes during perimenopause affect the body and mind? So we're not just talking about the body now, even the mental well-being. Is anyone in to help take that?
I can add something to that
Thank
one.
you.
Mm,
Yeah. So yes, of course, the hormonal changes affects both the body and the mind. When you think about the head as the headquarters, which is where all the command goes, yes, tell the ovary to produce estrogen, tell the adrenal gland to produce that and that. And that, when those changes of those hormones start to occur, like my sister mentioned before, I would say the body is always trying to maintain balance. So
Hmm.
therefore, all the other guys come in and they try to help the ovaries, they try to help every other part of the body. And of course, then there's an imbalance of, if I leave my job and start doing yours, who's going to do mine? Yeah.
Hmm.
mm,
So therefore, that throws out a whole host of symptoms. We're talking about brain fog, and because those estrogen and progesterone we have what we call the receptors all the way from our head, different part of our bodies. So it affects the brain. We get brain fog, depression comes in because it also affects our gut. It affects the
mhm,
skin, you get dry skin. So there's a whole host of, it's amazing, estrogen, how the number of roles that it plays in the body. So therefore, when it starts to decline in the menopause transition, it affects the body, it affects the mind.
Yes, yes. Thank you very much. Have you got anything to add to it, Queen Austina?
yes, yes. Like what my sister just said. What she said is true. So many women are going through like I should say mental health because premenopause. Well, I will not say premenopause mostly is the cause of it, but they don't know. I remember one lady was going to mental health,
Hmm.
depression, and you know I advised her to go and see the physician, and the result was she was on a premenopause. So this thing affects physical and emotional, especially for me. I've seen so many women go through emotional torture through menopause because, like our sister said, it's intertwined. It's
Hmm.
affecting from our head, everything, the guts, the skin. You get very dry skin. You get uh, um all this everything, low self-esteem. It
Hmm.
comes again with low self-esteem, you know feeling useless, feeling all sorts of things. These are all emotional, tortured women are going to because of premenopause. So yeah, it's 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 a call for action,
Yeah, it's a
really.
big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's associated with the next question as well. If the common emotional changes or mood swings associated with perimenopause. And I know that women, we kind of, because we're all women, I think knowing this, even if anyone listening now is not in at that stage yet, when people just flip and there's mood swing, I think it's we think more, we need more of compassion and
Yeah.
empathy,
Yeah.
because this is, that person cannot understand themselves while they're doing that. So we should be there to support ourselves and make that person feel comfortable. Like Queen Austina said, that you go through low self-esteem, you just can't even understand what's going on. And my queen Yinka said the head is the headquarters. I like that. The head is the headquarters. So things are just going up on in there that you can't even explain yourself. So let's be gentle, let's be kind to one another. I think that will go a long way to help create awareness and help people who are going through it. Some are going through it, they don't know. So
Mhm.
it's only those who know that are able to tell you, "Oh, I'm so sorry." They apologize for it, but they themselves, they can't understand why they're they're aggressive, or just a shadow of themselves. So
Yes,
please, let's be kind to ourselves. Um, yeah. So are there other emotional changes or mood swings associated with perimenopause?
um
I think it's been
I think we've pretty much mentioned
yes.
it. So you have the depression, you have the low mood. 1 minute you're yes wanting to have a hug, and the next one is like don't touch. So it's that. That's a lot going up there. But
Yes.
yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody said, the slightest reason you just cry. You find it's true. Some women find that they just cry at the smallest thing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's all
Thank you very much. Mercy John Martian, you says smooth swings, just crying for the slightest reason, watching a
Yeah.
sad scene in a movie.
Mm.
Thank you for that. Adekumi Ajay says there's also changes in the digestive routine. There can be indigestion,
Yeah.
flatulence, and also weight gain. Thank you,
Mm.
Queen Adekumi, for that. True. So in the indigestion can also occur. Someone, okay, is there another queen here? Queen Enang says menopause birthday. Okay, and yes. So thank you very much all for joining in. And there's another comment before we go to next one. Men also need to be educated as to prove, yes, so as to provide.
Absolutely. Yeah,
I can't
absolutely.
say that enough. So
Absolutely.
that's why you wish it's not just for women. Call the husbands to join in
Yeah,
and
yeah.
listen.
I once did a master class last year. We invited the men to come and listen, yeah,
Wow.
to
Yeah.
understand what the menopause is about and how it's affecting the
Mm,
partners, the wives, so they can support them. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. Thank
Very
you.
important.
Thank you, Laura Adeyemi, for that comment. Yes, men need to know. They need to come in and listen and sit down. So please share with your husbands. It's not just for women, because I've had great responses from women saying, "Oh, this is very needful. I want to, I'm sending to my ladies group. Let's send to the men's group as well." All right.
Mhm.
The next question is to you, Queen Yinka. No, is that it? Yeah. Number 6. Can lifestyle choices, that's this one. Yeah. Can lifestyle choices like diet and exercise help ease perimenopausal symptoms?
Absolutely, it can. It can. There's been a few studies done and personal experience as well. They place women on more of a Mediterranean diet, more plant-based foods, it helped. There was one study that reported 65% relief in hot flushes and night sweats for the participants. Yeah. So our food choices definitely will help the menopausal symptoms. Take, for example, we're talking about the infamous hot flush now.
Mm,
When you consume alcohol, for example, that can affect the intensity of the hot flush or the night sweats. Too much sugar,
Mhm.
caffeine,
Mhm.
alcohol, stress, all of those things impact on the perimenopausal symptoms. And so therefore, when it comes to our diet, we want to look at what we're eating when we're eating. I like the saying, and I coined it for us women. There's not the usual saying is, eat breakfast like a king, eat lunch like a
Yes.
prince, eat dinner
Yes.
like a pauper. And I've twisted it and said,
Yes.
well, for us women, we're gonna eat breakfast like a queen and eat lunch like a princess, and then dinner like a peasant woman. So you want to eat your heaviest meal during the day. If you can't have it for
Mm.
breakfast, have it for lunch, but try and have lighter foods or no food at all, depending on how you feel in the evening. And that's
Mm.
because you also give your digestive system a break during the night as you go to sleep. So in fact, you're doing intermittent fasting while you're sleeping that way. And then by the time you wake up in the morning, you've probably gone like 12 hours of no food. All right. So that would also help with the indigestion or digestive issues that women tend to have when we come to menopause. And yes, we do have indigestion, issues. So that's it for the food, for the timing. Exercise, yes, we want to make sure this is where balance is key when it comes to exercise. Not too much, not too little. So we want that sweet spot where you're just doing enough to maintain a healthy weight, enough to help with those symptoms. Because if you're exercising, and I chuckle when I say this, you're exercising, over exercising, and I'm thinking, hold on, many of us are tired. We're not over exercising. There's not that many people that over exercise, but you still find out. I think when women, when we want to lose weight, one of the first things is, oh yes, I'm gonna exercise, and then you're doing it and you're doing it and you're doing it, and then you're probably dieting at the same time. So that's not balance. That's very unbalanced. So it's finding that balance, which includes doing like 2 to 3 times in a week. Strength training. Okay. So when we talk about strength training, we're talking about using your body as weight. We're also talking about using weights. So if you try and incorporate that into your week 2 to 3 times a week, fantastic. Then of course you can also add in your cardio. Stretching, things like Pilates, or just do a normal stretch. I do an online class as 5 a.m. in the morning. Friday, we call it Stretchy Friday. That's all we do in that session.
Mm.
So we need all of those, variety of the different type of exercises to help us. So yes, so exercise and diet can help ease perimenopausal symptoms.
Great, great. Thank you very much. Thank you. Somebody says on here, it says there's also male menopause. Oh, okay. That's my husband
With,
was
yeah,
my husband
yeah,
was
men do have that. Can I just say something about that, if that's okay? Yeah.
okay.
So yes, I did. Yeah, another masterclass, which we did. So I had to talk about the men. So yes, men do have the what we refer
Yeah.
to as the andropause, and we have many symptoms in that's common between men and women. Men also have hot flushes.
Yeah.
Really?
They
Oh,
have the lack of motivation. Yeah, they put on fat in the wrong places, just like women do as well.
yeah.
Yeah. So we have a few things in common, and that's because for us women is the estrogen, for men is the testosterone.
Mm.
The difference again is for women, our estrogen is taking a nosedive at some point. Like for example, whereas for the men rather, it's about
Mm.
1%. From the age of 35 and on, it starts to decrease. Okay, so we have some things in common with men when it comes to midlife and
Wow.
menopause. Of course, yeah.
Wow. The first time I heard it was when my husband said at work, he was like, I need to open the window. And people were like, are you having are you having menopause? So, is there anything like that? Not until you just said it's been said now that, oh, there's actually a male menopause. Oh, okay. I'm educated tonight.
Mm.
Thank you for letting me know. All right. Before we do the next question, which is how important is it for women to track their menstrual cycles during perimenopause? I would we'll just take a short break to drink some water. Like, where women we need to top up. We've been talking.
Right.
Just 1 minute exactly. I was about saying that. So 1 minute, and we'll be right back. So please invite other people. Let them come in to join in the fun because we're already having fun. Thank you. See you in 1 minute.
Welcome to Dr. Bummy Able TV, where we inspire and inform you endlessly, with knowledge to guide, uplift, and grow. Thank you for joining, it's a journey, let's go. To all the new subscribers, welcome aboard. We're so glad you're here, there's so much in store. Returning friends, thank you once again. Together we'll learn and share the game. From wisdom to insight, each video's a gift. Helping you rise, giving your spirit a lift. So hit that subscribe, stay tuned to see all the great things on Dr. Bummy Able TV. To all the new subscribers, welcome aboard. We're so glad you're here, there's so much in store. Returning friends, thank you once again. Together we'll learn and share the game. To all the new subscribers, welcome aboard. We're so glad you're here, there's so much in store. Returning friends, thank you once again. Together we'll learn and share the game.
Thank you very much for coming back. Thank you very much for joining us again. Oh, Queen Kafilat is here online. Okay, thank you very much for joining in. Let me put that on. So she's here. How are we going to ask your question now? Okay, so yes, all I'll just have to do now, sometimes we can't control technology, the way it has its way of doing its own thing. So we would answer, you would please answer your question, but while you're trying to answer your question on how important is it for women to track their menstrual cycles during menopause, you're going to type that out and I'll put it on the screen. So while we are doing that, anyone here has an answer to that question? How is it important, or how important is it for women to track their menstrual cycles? Actually, I tell my girls to track their menstrual cycles right from day one when they start. Don't wait till the perimenopause. But why is it important to track it even close to menopause? Anyone has an answer?
Yeah,
Okay.
I can say something on that. It's important because in case you want to go back to that date, because personally I forget things anyway. So in case you want to go back to the date, if you track it, you'll be able to tell the physician or the doctor exactly when it starts and when it finishes. And there are so many ways you can track it. You can use an app, which I use anyway. I use the app. You can use, so many apps now that can help you. There's one called Flow. You can use that one and you track it, so that if you want to go, if there's any problem with your period, or if you are having irregular period, you will be able to know, if to see when last I have my period. Maybe the next, some people miss period 3-4 months. At least you'll be able to go back and see the pattern of your, until you go into the menopause. But I think for me that's
Okay.
yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Because I know physicians, the GP will ask you, when was your last period? And you say, I can't remember. I don't know that. I don't think that's a mature answer. But anyway, let's see what our expert here has to say. So she says, tracking menstrual cycles during menopause is quite important for women, as it can provide valuable insights into their reproductive health and help them understand the changes in their bodies. So, and she also says the changes the body is undergoing. So during perimenopause, which is the transitional phase leading up to menopause, women may experience irregularities in their menstrual cycle, and changes to look for are irregular cycles, variability in the cycle length, with periods becoming shorter or longer. Thank you very much. So that's Coach Moji. Thank you very much for answering that question, which is also Queen Kafilat. Thank you very much, Queen Kafilat, for answering the question. All right, so we've done justice to that. We need to know, Because you never know. Some even may be pregnant and they're like, no, not at
Mm.
55, not at 60. Oh, yes, there are some miracle babies that just try to find their way in there. So if you're not sure, and it's well, so let's yeah, if you're still facing that irregular period, please um have a journal or have an app you use to track it like you would when you were not facing perimenopause. That's if you actually were doing that before. But anyway, let's go to the next question. The next question is by Queen Yinka. How does perimenopause affect sleep? And what tips do you have for managing sleep disturbances like insomnia or night sweats?
Okay, this is another common one, which again, according to statistics, especially women in postmenopause, it affects over 76% of women are
Mm,
not able to postmenopause. And while women are transitioning through the menopause, that is the perimenopause, sleep also can be affected because, as you've mentioned, with the night sweat, some women wake up in pool of sweat. Therefore, they have to wake up, they have to change bed sheets, they have to change, nightwear and all that. And that, of course, disturbs their sleeps. So, this can't sleep, frequent waking up. If you sleep, you can't stay asleep, poor sleep quality. Now, what affects this? Of course, the hormonal changes
mm,
because estrogen, like which I mentioned before, the fact that we have so many of the receptors in pretty much all over us, plays a role when it comes to our sleep hormone as well. So you come to this stage of life, well, our sleep hormone, which is the melatonin, is also affected by our gut health. So it's almost like a catch-22 situation.
mm,
Think about it. So you have gut issues that affects your mood, that affects your sleep as well. You can't sleep. The next day you're tired, you can't function properly. Then, of course, the irritability also comes into it. You have issues with remembering things. And yes, I've heard of women thinking, oh, I think you mentioned it before. Oh, they might think it's dementia because they're forgetting things. So that
mm,
affects, your self confidence as well. You're not motivated to do things. So sleep is a big deal. It's a big deal. The night sweats affect it, like I said, like I mentioned already. And when you're not sleeping, of course, you're also anxious. There's the stress, and this again it's a vicious cycle. If you think about it, if you're not sleeping, that is affecting your hormones. There's a saying that children grow in sleep. Us as adults, we repair in sleep. So if we're not sleeping,
mm.
we're not repairing.
Yeah.
And when we're not sleeping, also that affects our immunity.
Mm,
Therefore, it's easy to, catch a cold here. It's easy to fall sick, and on it goes. Another thing that affects women in this stage is what we call the restless leg. When
Mm.
at night, it keeps women awake. Yeah, it keeps you awake. And then of course, you have the depression. When you're depressed, when you're unhappy, you can't sleep. Frequent urination, again, because
mm,
estrogen also has an effect on our uterus. So our bladder also takes a beating when we come to menopause. So you find that some women are having to wake up several times in the night just to go and use the bathroom. So again, broken sleep. All right.
mm,
So how do we manage this so that it doesn't become a problem, goes on year on year on and year on? There's some things we can do, some simple things we can do. Hydration is actually key when it comes to not just the hot flushes or not being thirsty. It also affects our sleep. So I say make sure you're drinking enough water throughout the day. Yeah, there's so many there's apps there for us to drink water. There's those graduated bottles to help us to drink water. Put
mhm.
in, I think I'm already answering my question for the next one. Put in a bottle where you can see it so that it reminds you to drink the water, right? So make hydration is key. Cutting out caffeine. Caffeine and alcohol, they affect our sleep. If you
Mm,
have caffeine, it stays in your. The advice is to not have anything with caffeine, and at least 4 hours before bedtime, right? And that's because it takes that long and even longer to get it out of your system. So if you're one for caffeine, it may be coffee, maybe Coca-Cola, or whatever is caffeinated you're drinking, try and drink it earlier on in the day so that when it's afternoon or late afternoon, you is out of your system and you can get to sleep.
Mm,
Having a room that's dark, that's cool, not cold. So you want to make sure you're getting fresh air into the room. That will also, keep that room, the temperature conducive to induce sleep.
mm,
And making sure your bedroom is for sleep and sex, nothing more. So you're not carrying your office work to your bedroom. When it comes to we call it blue light, from all these our devices, try and leave that at least an hour before bedtime. Because what
mm,
you're telling your brain then is, oh, we're coming to that time of the day. Can you kindly please start producing melatonin to help me get to sleep? But if we're still exposing ourselves to what we call, I like to call it Christmas light, even though it's not Christmas, blue light, using the correct terminology, we are telling our body, oh, it's still daytime. Please keep the cortisol up. And therefore, you're finding it difficult to sleep. Stress,
mm.
managing stress. Because if we're not managing stress, we're always at a lot. Cortisol is always high, and that affects the melatonin. Therefore, getting to sleep, staying asleep becomes difficult. So this is where we need to learn to, just I surrender all and give it up, whatever it is, go to sleep. Go to sleep. The good book says the Lord gives sleep to his beloved, right? So we are the beloved. So let's sleep. Okay, let's sleep. And I've already mentioned about avoiding stimulants and just getting that time of sleep. Perhaps, I don't know, some people work shift work, and that's fine. But try to get to bed pretty much about the same time every day for most days of the week if you can't do it every day. All right. So if it's Monday to whatever day you're working, okay, for the next 4 days I'm home. Try just to maintain that because you're also training your body to say, okay, my days off, or this is the time we go to bed. So those are some of the things I would recommend for us to help us to get a good, quality of
Yeah,
sleep. And
Absolutely.
yeah.
there's more, but I think that's enough for now.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. I'm looking at our time. Wow, how time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. I'll go straight right into the next question. When should women seek medical advice or intervention during perimenopause? That's a question for Queen Kafilat, and she has actually been busy behind the scene trying to put the answers together. So thank you very much, my queen. Let's look at the answers. So, why should women seek medical advice or intervention during perimenopause? The answer is, as she says, because there are changes to your look. Okay, no, the next one. It says flow changes, noticeable changes in the heaviness or duration of menstrual bleeding, symptoms, increased frequency or severity of menopausal symptoms such as hot flushes, night sweats, sleep disturbances, osteoporosis. These are reasons you should be seeing your doctor, and physical changes, any unusual physical symptoms such as significant weight gain or loss or changes in libido, you should be seeing your medical doctor. And then when to consult a healthcare professional, women should consider consulting a healthcare professional if they experience all of these above. And further to that, she says significant changes in their menstrual or unexpected symptoms that interfere with daily life or well-being. So if you see anything affects you, there might be something deeper than that. So there is always a good advice to see your doctor who's got your medical history and they can help detect whatever it is. So any bleeding after a year of no periods, like postmenopausal bleeding, severe pain or discomfort during menstruation that is new or worsening, those are times you will need to see your GP.
Yeah.
Tracking these changes can help women and their healthcare providers make informed decisions about managing symptoms and all overall health during this transitional period. Yes, so it is of utmost importance to see the medical practitioners who have got your medical history so that they can dive into whatever the problem is. It might be masking as perimenopause, whereas it may not be. It might be a deeper medical condition. So please, let's not take it for granted or see your GP. The worst that it's either they tell you this or that. So why not just ask them, because you don't want to take things for granted. You know, it's better safe than sorry. All
Absolutely.
right. Wonderful. Thank you very much, Queen Kafilat. We hope to see your face the next in the next one. So the last question. The last question. Are there any questions from the audience? Thank you for staying with us till now. And thank you for sharing. Thank you for liking. Thank you for, also adding to the discussion. It made it really enjoyable. Thank you very much for all the comments. We go on to the last question now for the day, so we can go, because we are women who need our rest. So, what role do support networks such as friends, family, or online communities play during perimenopause? Over to you, Queen Yinka.
Okay, so a big role, because this sort of networking provides emotional support. Because menopause is it's can be lonely. It's quite a delicate stage, so it's good to have that support in place, because it will provide you the emotional support. It also gives you validation, especially when you're in a group with a group of women. I Thursday, what's day today? Saturday, yes, Saturday. Hey, brain fog. So I had a masterclass, of course, and it was quite interesting because it took a different turn. You had all the women there sitting there, and they were talking and sharing their different experiences. So it felt like, oh, I'm not alone. Oh, you mean you had the same? You've got similar things. So that gives you validation that I'm not going crazy. There are other people going through this, and it's comforting. It's comforting. Sharing knowledge and resources. So someone says, this worked for me. Why don't you try it? Or I tried that one, that didn't work for me. So like the Thursday session, we had women talking about HRT, and somebody saying she doesn't want to go on it. Somebody saying they're going on it. Someone wants to know about other natural or sort of herbal kind of alternatives to that. So that there was sharing of knowledge and resources, which you get when you come when you have a network of support. Now, also when it comes to family as well, I always say, have a family meeting. If you're a woman going through it's the perimenopause, even if you don't know, let's have a family meeting. This is how I am feeling, right? Then the family can support you as well, right? Even in our workplaces now, the conversation is changing. Many people have been trained to, or managers have been trained to understand what the menopause is about, so that they can support the women in the workplace. Because whether statistics shows that the largest number of workers or employee in the workplace are middle-aged women. So therefore, the support needs to be there, so that the companies and organization can keep these experienced people, so they don't lose these experienced people. Because yes, many women have left jobs, and as a result of the menopausal symptoms they were suffering. But if the supports were in place, perhaps they would have stayed. So these are the type of support that we should get ourselves involved in. The online support group. I have a Facebook online community now called the Meno Sisters. So if anybody wants to join that, send me a request to join. So things like that. So like I said, there's so many ways to engage the support of friends and family, and of course, like I mentioned, the online community. There was professional input in those communities to help you to know what to do, and sometimes it's just like I said, a space to come and just talk,
Yes.
just to talk and feel like, oh yes, I'm not alone. Yeah, I'm not alone. So yes, and it gives you that accountability and motivation as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And there's another group called the Silver Silk, a menopause support and wellness community, where, all this, I've just seen my period after 5 years of not seeing what is happening here. You can always, your A&E, you have so many people in there, like it's about 533 members. And some of the queens from we'll be chatting with are also from that group. So you're from there as well. So if you need information, let me know. That's where people brainstorm on things and ask questions. Magnesium, I was saying, magnesium, 500 milligrams, so many things going on, and even your stuff as well. Anyway, we'll get to that. This is just the first episode of the series. So thank you very much for staying with us till this very moment. The next time we'll be having the talk two, because we have is a series, like we said, it is on the 18th of October, and it's menopause myths and facts, debunking some common misconceptions. Menopause talk two. So we are hoping you will join us then to listen to that. We'll have, like you can see from the poster, we have so many of our guests who will be bringing their all the information we need to get. If you have questions, ask on the chat. The chats continue. I mean, the chat continues. The comments continue even after this. You can rewatch on this same link. So please make use of this information and let's make the world a better place for women like you and I. Thank you very much. Thank you, Queen Yinka. Thank you, Queen Ostina. You've been
Thank
a
you.
delight to
Thank you.
be with. Thank you. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
So I wish you all the best. Have a good night.
And you
I
too.
won't keep you any longer. Oh, guys waiting in the bedroom.
Answer the call.
All right.
Good night.
Good
Okay.
night. Good night.
Good night. Bye
Good night.
bye.
Bless you. Bye bye. So there you go, our viewers. You can see it's not just one person facing it. Whatever symptom you're facing, others too might be facing it as well. So please, let's be our sister's keeper and see you for the next talk on the 18th of October on, I think it's a Saturday or a Friday. I'm not sure. I'll check that. I think it's a Friday, 18th of October, and we'll see you then. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your evening and bye-bye.